Sailor Dennis, why can't we afford any terms of a Chameleon Harris presidency?
We definitely can't afford that. One term with the Chameleon Harris on board, and our country is doomed. We're in pretty bad shape right now after this stint with the stumbling, bumbling, sleepy Joe Biden.
Oh.
We're in pretty bad shape right now.
They didn't like him so much that they threw him out on Monday night, and he left right after his late speech was done.
Right. And he's a bitter old man, and
as he should be from it.
He took Jimmy Carter's place as the worst president ever in the history of the United States, and that's simply because Jimmy Carter didn't do as much damage, anywhere near as much damage. All this looting and people running across the borders and crimes and all this stuff. Underneath stumbling, bumbling Joe Biden and Chameleon Harris, it's a very easy mark to beat. And the Golden Warrior, his 4 years beat it by a long shot.
Well, how about that? It was they had it in winter, springtime, a fixed primary where it was just set on Biden, even though he was not well the whole time. And then in the summertime, after that fixed primary, they just transferred over the delegates from Biden to Chameleon as if nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's the sneaky Democrats. The Democrats, they're shrewd. The only it's a backhanded compliment, but the only compliment I could give them is they're extremely shrewd, crafty, and they're going to win at all costs. And they didn't win when they had Hillary. And I pray to God that they don't win this time, because if Chameleon comes on board with that Tampon Tim AWOL's character, who's even worse than Chameleon, we can't take it. We're not going to survive 2 bad terms in a row.
Absolutely. So you wanted to talk more about Tampon Tim. Give the main difference to the audience between J.D. Vance's military service compared to Tampon Tim's.
Well, Tampon Tim is he's a classic case of stolen valor. He's a horseshit merchant. He was in the Army Reserve for 24 years. That's reserve. That means weekend warrior. He showed up every weekend, 1 weekend a month for 24 years, and he watched Victory at Sea on the video, and he collected a check. And as a reservist, 2 weeks a year, they have what they call active duty for training. So he went on these active duty. So he had 2 weeks a year, and every 1 weekend a month for 24 years. That was the extent of his being a warrior. And then he gets up on stage and says that he carried a weapon into war. That our young men should not have to carry a weapon into war as he did. Well, he never did. He was never in a war. He was never in a war zone. He was in a gymnasium, a high school gymnasium, 1 weekend a month, or some building, and watching Victory at Sea.
And more recently, he let his city burn down in the 2020.
And he did work himself, kissed ass, I'm sure, all the way up to the highest. He was an E8 in the Army,
oh, wow,
which is next to the highest enlisted you could be. E9 is the highest. He even lied about that. He went up for E9, he was selected, but he didn't complete all of his academic requirements, so he didn't actually have the rank, and he never let anybody know that. That had to be brought out. So he's a bullshitter, he's a liar. He abandoned his troops. His troops all got a set of orders. He meaning Tampon Tim, already had 20 years in, so he went right around. When you have 20 years in, you don't have to, if you have time remaining on your contract, you don't have to stay because you've already reached your 20 years. He snuck around the back and got out that way.
Right. Whereas J.D. Vance wanted to go in after 9/11.
J.D. Vance is a whole different character. He's an honorable man. He's a man that it's easy to understand. He's plain spoken. He came from a hard background up there in the mountains and the hills somewhere, and he didn't have it easy. He didn't have it easy, and he's honest, he's direct, and he's sincere.
Okay, so let's guide back again to Chameleon Harris and why we can't even survive any time with her as a presidency.
Chameleon Harris, her record is horrendous. She's a prosecutor who didn't want to prosecute. She didn't do much prosecuting at all. And when they let the cities out west and up in Seattle and all these Black Lives Matter and all these things happened in San Francisco, anything that she was attached to went to hell. It went to shit, because she even formed a committee for raising bail to get these bad guys out of jail. She was kind of like pissing on her own parade. She's terrible.
Yeah, and they just tell her what to say, and she's stealing both Trump and Vance's ideas, like just a copycat of the ideas, because they don't have any of their own.
Well, you're right, because President Trump says he's going to take taxes away from
yes,
from
that's
tips.
Exactly what I'm talking. That's exactly what I'm talking.
From service workers who receive tips, and that's a very good thing to do, because the service workers they're not even paid minimum wage, so they depend on those tips. If you're going to tax tips, you got to change the system then, and then have those service workers receive a standard pay.
Absolutely.
And this way, they're not so dependent on the tips.
Absolutely.
They'll still get some,
yes.
but they're, you know what I mean.
Your final, Sailor Dennis's final thoughts and opinions on why Chameleon Harris cannot have a presidency at all.
Chameleon Harris she'll do anything. She's a high-end Democrat. She'll do anything. Ask Willie. What's that guy's name?
Willie something.
Yeah, Willie. Ask Willie. She'll do anything to get ahead. Willie loved her, and she's shrewd. She smiles a lot. She cackles. If she has to stop cackling, she does. She does whatever is necessary to win.
All right, very nice. You got a lot of expressive thoughts and ideas out there. That's great. All right, well, we're already 7 minutes in, so we're going to cut this one off here, but we're going to see us back in sometime in September for us to talk about the ABC fake news debate between Kamala and Trump coming up. She did not say yes to any other Fox News or anything else. She said no. She only wants to be on her terms on ABC. But what do you? So
well, you know what? The Chameleon Harris could follow instructions. She's a little more intelligent than Stumbling Bumbling Joe, because Chameleon will stick to the script. Her people are telling her don't address any issues, because if she addresses issues, she's going to lose.
Exactly.
And Trump, he's automatically going to go nothing but issues, and so he's gonna blow her right out of the water.
Right. So she only agreed to one so far.
Right.
It's going to be on ABC fake news, and that'll be our next main big topic. That's going to be a very interesting night to watch.
Oh, that one debate that she agreed to,
ABC.
she's going to get sunk.
I hope so.
Right during that debate, because she is instructed to stay away from issues, because every one of them damages America. And Trump is going to stick to every single issue, including them lying about the tips. Chameleon said she's going to do away tips for Trump. That's part of Trump's agenda. So Trump is going to nail her on every issue, and anybody who votes for the Chameleon Harris after that debate, well, they're a tried and true, brainless Democrat who cares less for this country.
Very, very true. So we'll see you all in September for that ABC fake news debate discussion. Everybody dance and have a good time. This is friend and co-host Sailor Dennis and Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC, till sometime after September 10th.
Va con Dios, con todos. Adios.